Unlimited.
Interruption by today's sponsor, Underdog. It might be a baseball video, but there's so much going on in the world of sports. The NFL playoffs are reaching a fever pitch. The NHL and NBA revving up the heart of their seasons. And Underdog will be there every step of the way. With their pick'em game, you get to be center stage to control your own destiny and flex your foresight might. Choose any stat line for a player in any game being played. Choose higher or lower for each one. Simple as that. Be on the lookout for daily promos and specials to give you an extra edge in your game plan. Underdog's available in the strong majority of these United States, and are securing more in their quest for superiority. Plus, if Underdog's not available in your state, they always have daily fantasy games to test your skill. Will you join us? If you do, use the promo code UTREE to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash in your first deposit. Secure a special pick in the lobby as well. With Underdog, the opportunities are unlimited. Okay, I'll stop now. Let's take a look at the baseball offseason, shall we? Almost $3 billion have been spent in free agency, but that number is incredibly deceiving. It's been inconsistent, to say the least. There are the big signings of the batch, a gigantic chasm, the average splurge or two from a team, another gigantic chasm, a couple of teams making a small signing or two, a pit the size of the Grand Canyon, and then the teams doing jack and shit. There have been some huge deals to those that spent. Corbin Burns embracing his role as a snake, Max Fried wearing pinstripes, and Juan Soto gaining the ability to form a PMC and invade an island nation. Jesus Christ, that's still an insane number to see. But even for Daddy Steve bestowing 10 generations of wealth on a man, there's only one team that's gathered headlines like no other. Your 2024 World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers. They saved us from Yankee insufferability to grant us Dodger insufferability. There was a time when New York was the evil empire, but that time is long since past. That moniker's moved to the other coast. Nearly all the Dodgers' rotation was ravaged by injury last year, and they still claimed victory. Merely have to try and hedge against those odds this time, don't you? Plus, a significant chunk of their roster would be going into free agency. Where do they start? Oh, just a small-time addition in two-time Cy Young winner Blake Snell. A mere 6-year deal isn't much for them. And I'm being dead serious about that. A 1-year, $17 million deal for Michael Conforto is a drop in the bucket. The Dodgers use that kind of money as dinner napkins. Just watch him go back to his Mets form as well. You thought Teoscar Hernandez and Blake Treinen wouldn't be back. They're both locked up to multi-year deals. Last year, the Dodgers secured the best pitcher out of Japan. This year, they secured the best pitcher out of Japan. Once again sending the Blue Jays to the cut chairs, they signed Roki Sasaki for their pleasure. Toronto farted out of Santander during climax. Always bullpen is an injured Michael Kopech, doesn't it? Something get the best reliever on the market in Tanner Scott, no biggie. And they also went to Korea to get Hae-Sung Kim for their middle infield for the hell of it. They could just trade Gavin Lux for futures, it's all good. We ain't done either. Kirby Yates. Welcome to the bullpen of dreams. Merely a blip on a $375 million payroll, which is more than the bottom 6 payrolls in MLB combined. And that doesn't include securing some of the more intriguing blue-chip prospects in long-term projects for the infamous Dodgers developmental machine. Look at this pitching staff and tremble in fear of the gods. And don't forget, Shohei's gonna be able to pitch next year. He was NL MVP as a DH alone. Not to mention the riches already in their lineup. It's what having fuck you money can offer to a franchise. Group tired of playing nice with a bunch of stubborn old codgers who only care for the bottom line. Why make profit when you can win and still find a way to make profit? A huge chunk of everything owed deferred to the 2030s and 40s. We'll all be older, grayer, and probably much fatter. Significant short-term gain for probable long-term pain. That or the Dodgers have a money printer we don't know about. I'm assuming the latter is a realistic possibility. In response to these repeated and seismic revelations, baseball fans across the world are in an uproar. It's against anything resembling league parity, they'll cry. Why even play the game when every player with a damn's gonna be in Dodger blue? Every free agent in future years? They're already Dodgers. All of Asia's simply a farm system for them. It's proof that a hard salary cap's needed for the sport to thrive. The great controversy of our times, according to Twitter or Blue Sky or wherever the hell you converse about sport. Here's the thing. In a past age, I would have been livid at the Dodgers for their offseason too. College-age me would have turned into a salt mine, accusing them of buying a championship like the 2009 Yankees did with their offseason splurges. The reeing would have been heard from coast to coast in tidal waves made by my tears. But experience tends to mellow out the hardened exterior. Do I blame the Dodgers for adding to their arsenals? I don't. If there's an opportunity to upgrade your roster, you do it. If you get discounts from players due to your reputation for premium pitcher development and rehabilitation, take advantage of it. For as much as people bitch, the reality is that they've broken no rules. As long as the Dodgers pay the extremely monstrous amount of luxury tax to the league, they're good to go. There are no stipulations about deferred payments in baseball. Hell, it can backfire horrifically if it doesn't work out. Glaring right at the Nationals here. Or Chris Davis if you wanted to pick on a team 45 minutes away. But sometimes it can succeed. Think back to the Tampa Bay Lightning and their cup runs a few years ago. Despite their gobs of talent and skill, there was a massive uproar from a good chunk of the NHL's fandom. They were abusing the LTIR system to buy more players. When Nikita Kucherov was placed on it, then magically was healthy enough to perform at full ability. In the playoffs, the cries came from all angles. They were cheating, sullying the sanctity of the Stanley Cup with its unclean tarnish. Call it bullshit all you want, but there was one thing to mention. Like the Dodgers, the Lightning broke no rules. Everything they did was legal in accordance to the NHL's CBA. Hell, the Vegas Golden Knights have done the same thing with Mark Stone, too. Don't hate the player, hate the game. The Dodgers are doing everything in their power to secure another World Series within the legal parameters of baseball. More power to them. They desire to win. I respect it. The reality is that my anger isn't towards LA and their proliferation of nuclear arms. It's with the rest of baseball. I direct my ire to the likes of the Athletics, crying poor for years upon years in Oakland, then respond by giving out the largest contract in franchise history the moment they move. I knew they were going to do it too. They had been deliberately sandbagging for years and were going to open the bank once the move to Las Vegas was confirmed. Stadium or not. I get angry at the likes of the Marlins, who are blowing it up for the 5th time in 30 years. I wonder why the fans aren't going to games down there. It's towards Minnesota, who's been completely chicken shit and squandering a postseason roster by doing fuck all. The lapsed RSN deal's a crutch. They wouldn't be spending much regardless. It's at the Mariners. They have the 54% bullshit that'll only result in their doom. The Pirates, the Rockies, the Rays, the Brewers, it goes on and on. 3 teams haven't even given out a pro contract yet in this free agency cycle. And one of those is the damn Padres. To be fair, they were probably waiting on what Roki Sasaki would do in Ichiro's older brother to the north. They'll probably make a move or two soon, I think. Yet they're a rare sight. There are 10 teams in baseball that haven't spent $10 million on free agents in 2025. If you were to simply take the Conforto deal, that alone would be 19th in free agency spending this offseason. Adding 1 year of Teoscar's contract puts you in the top half. Forgive me if Tom Ricketts' cries into the night go on deaf ears. Getting older is developing the realization that baseball doesn't need a salary cap. It needs a cap and a floor. Avaricious owners around the league merely add to the disparity we see in real time. These numbers will increase by spring training. Look at how many players are still available. It's a certainty even if they're 1-year deals. Considering Bregman and Alonso, they might be forced to settle for those with their demands. Lastly, who the hell said they were going to win the World Series this year to begin with? Sports world's littered with so-called teams of destiny that are only destined to come up short. The infamously cursed 87 Cleveland Indians, Artie Moreno's all-in push back in 2012. Remember the 2001 Yankees? Post 9/11, the script was all but set in stone. An unstoppable force with stars out the wazoo taking out the greatest regular season baseball team in history. Then the Diamondbacks happened. Baseball's a long slog and anything can happen. And that includes most of the Dodgers pitching staff going on IL by July. Maybe I'm speaking as a fan of an irrelevant franchise, but spending is healthy. When teams don't spend, it's a sign of danger for a sports economy, regardless of the reason why. This means there's going to be a long lockout when the CBA expires, doesn't it? RSN deals lapsing left and right won't do it, this very well might. Enjoy the ride while it lasts, I guess.
Pitch to De La Cruz. He hits a fly ball, right center. Yastrzemski has it! And Blake Snell has pitched the first no-hitter of his brilliant career here in Cincinnati.